everyone, welcome back. My name is Davidson. I am so excited this week for our, sixth episode of It Takes a Village. I am the creative director and owner of Beadly Speaking Jewelry. I'm sporting some of my pieces today, my earrings. I wanted to take a time out to talk about another autoimmune disease that we're not familiar with. Well, some of us are not familiar with, but it's something that is affecting a lot of us in the community. And this week, It Takes a Village actually features one of my buddies. Yaminah is actually somebody I met, about 5 years ago now? At a summer camp?
At a summer camp,
Yeah, we met about 5 years ago at a summer camp. And I was experiencing some symptoms back then and didn't know, but she was very supportive in that process. So lo and behold, I didn't even know that she was, going to be somebody that would support me through my journey. So welcome.
Thank you.
So you're here to tell us a little bit about a condition that most people aren't familiar with, but you've been diagnosed with, and you're here to educate us on C.O.Ps.
Right.
So break it on down. Tell us when you were diagnosed with this disease and how it affects you and the symptoms.
Okay, so C.O.P is formerly known as BOOP. So people that may be familiar with it may be familiar with BOOP, which is bronchiolitis obliterans with organizing pneumonia.
Okay.
It goes by C.O.P now, which is cryptogenic organizing pneumonia. And so basically...
Now you gotta slow that down, because somebody hearing that for the first time, they're gonna be like, what?
Right.
Cryptogenic, what?
Yeah.
What?
So it's cryptogenic organizing pneumonia.
Okay.
All right, so it kind of gives the thought that it's like pneumonia, and it's because it has pneumonia in it. It's not.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Right.
So they give it the term cryptogenic because they don't know what causes it. And so cryptogenic just basically means we don't know what it is. So if you ever hear of another disease with cryptogenic in front of it, it's because they don't know why.
So you like Supergirl?
Absolutely. And then the pneumonia piece, it's not an infection.
Okay.
And so the regular pneumonias that people get, the walk-in pneumonias, those are infections.
Okay.
And those can be treated with antibiotics. C.O.P can't be treated with antibiotic. It can only be treated with steroids. It's rare that people get it, and those that get it typically get it in their 40s. I'm not in my 40s, and I wasn't in my 40s when I was diagnosed.
Right. So,
right. The doctor looked at me and said, "You're special." I'm like, I know, but so it's rare that it's diagnosed. And it's diagnosed through lab work.
Okay.
And usually it's only diagnosed after everything else is rolled out. And also biopsies. So I've had 2 biopsies of my lungs, and then I had a lung washing, for lack of a better term. They just go in and flush it out to see if there was anything in there that shouldn't have been there.
So they flush your lungs?
Yeah, they kind of, yeah. So it's a in and out procedure.
Wow.
Both procedures are in and out. I'm special again, so usually they do it people awake, and I didn't tolerate that well because in addition to that, I had like sinusitis going on, so they couldn't get the scope through my nose. It was crazy.
Girl.
So,
you scaring me.
So I felt it, but hey, it was what needed to be done for me to get the diagnosis.
Right.
And so I was diagnosed in February of 2012. That's when I got the solid diagnosis.
Okay.
Prior to that, I didn't really have any issues. I had begun working out. I was preparing for a race, and this particular Saturday morning, I got up, I went and did my race practice, and me and my mom went to breakfast. And we went to breakfast, everything's still fine. I feel great. Went to the store, and the store has an escalator. Escalator did not work. So we got to the top. When we got to the top, I'm out of breath, like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I'm about to pass out. My mom's like, well, I'm gonna go shop. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go sit down, but I never made it to sit down. So I was rushed from the store to the hospital. At that time, the diagnosis they gave me was pneumonia.
Okay.
And so they treated me with antibiotics. It didn't work. So now they're like, okay, gave you the antibiotics. It's showing up as pneumonia. Your CAT scan came back and it's pneumonia. Why is it not responding to the antibiotics?
Right.
So it was at that point that I was referred to the pulmonologist. And pulmonology decided, okay, this is looking a little weird. Let's test you for everything. So they did a whole bunch of lab work, tested me for lupus, they tested me for Sjogren's, something called Wegener's. It was a whole bunch of stuff.
Basically, every autoimmune disease
That they could think of,
right.
They tried, because they were like, well, you have so many different things going on. So with C.O.P, it's usually onset over a period of time, and the most prominent symptoms are not being able to breathe, having a dry cough, kind of like flu symptoms. Weight gain, weight loss. For me, it was weight loss, but at the time I was trying to lose weight too. So it didn't dawn on me that, hey, I'm like, yeah, I'm losing weight.
Plus, we vain. Like,
right.
Weight start dropping, like,
right, yes.
That's boo. I can fit in them jeans.
Right. So it's like after that, and I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. Right. Okay, this wasn't a weight loss because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to lose weight. It's a weight loss because I was getting sick and didn't know it.
Like that time I dropped 30 pounds and it was like 1 month and I ain't
That's exactly how it happened. I was on Facebook
just
posting
happy.
like, I lost weight. Yeah,
no. I wasn't impressed. I was like, yes. I didn't think about lupus. I was like, 30 pounds gone. Bye.
Absolutely. So yeah, those are the symptoms that most people get. I had been sick prior to maybe couple months before with upper respiratory infection, so I thought. And so again, I had these symptoms, but never thought that it was because I was getting sick.
Right.
And it wasn't until after that I'm like, okay, all of this makes sense. Like I'm connecting the dots. Like, okay, I had upper respiratory infection, out of breath. I thought I was out of breath because I was just fat and trying to learn how to run. No, that wasn't the case at all. No. So fast forward.
We chubby, but we can run too.
Right.
Get it right.
So fast forward, I got the diagnosis, but I was still having other symptoms that were not classic of C.O.P. So I had, at one point, my parotid glands had swollen up. And it was like, okay, what's going on here?
That's synonymous with Sjogren's because I have that problem occasionally.
Right, so we went back and did the Sjogren's test again because I had the swelling, I had the dry mouth.
He's looking like
I wasn't
Martin
producing
from the episode of Martin with his face swole up real big.
Hearns,
yeah, that was me.
wasn't producing tears. It was crazy. Like my nose wouldn't run, but my eyes would run, but it wasn't, it was just crazy. Just weird stuff. And I'm like, what is going on with me? And they still saying, well, we got C.O.P, but what else is going on? So then they said, well, maybe it's sarcoid, maybe it's sarcoidosis. So let's test her for that. That came back negative. So I'm sitting there like, well, wait a minute, everything is coming back negative. What is really going on with me?
Right.
And to this day, I still don't know exactly what is going on other than the C.O.P. The doctors say, you have all these other symptoms, and it wouldn't be crazy for you 5 years in, and I'm 5 years in now, it wouldn't be crazy for you to be 5 years in, and then we get another diagnosis. So just prepare yourself.
Right.
So
you can have dual diagnoses and some stuff because autoimmune diseases overlap with their symptoms. Because even though the Sjogren's test might have came back negative then, if you're having parotid stuff with your glands in your eyes, that's too close for comfort.
Funny you should say that. So they say, well, once you get one autoimmune disease, you're probably gonna get something else to go with it.
It's like Lay's potato chips. You can't have but one.
So about 2 years ago, I get a diagnosis of psoriasis. So I don't even know that people know that falls under autoimmune.
Yes.
But psoriasis is basically your body producing skin faster than it can keep up with. And so you end up with patches. So I ended up with psoriasis of all places in the world on my lip. So
thanks.
Right. You can have anywhere but on my lip.
Showed up on my lip.
Right. So in addition to the steroids for the C.O.P, then I had to take steroids for the psoriasis. So I'm just being pumped with steroids. And that's a whole different bag of chips. So with the steroids, I forget. I'm foggy all the time. Man, I can't remember from day to day what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be doing. I get depressed. It's just...
Do you keep a calendar, whether it's a written one on paper or one on your phone to help you keep track of your day, every day?
I don't, and that's probably something that I should do. I typically, if it's something really, really important, I'll put it in the calendar for the alarm to go off.
Right.
But as far as keeping like a daily agenda, I don't. I should, but I don't.
So that's the only way I function. Praise God for this phone, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, literally for our meetup today, I had that schedule. I had the morning where I had to teach the jewelry class schedule. I had you scheduled. Then in the afternoon, I had my massage schedule. Then I had my trainer scheduled to go work out. Child, I would be a mess. And there are times when I forget so much that I'll sit and cry because I know it's something I'm supposed to remember and I can't.
Yeah.
So that frustration, I totally
I find
get
myself
that.
apologizing to people a lot too. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I
Right.
know I was supposed to do that, but I couldn't remember.
What had happened was.
Or I just wasn't feeling well. I'm sorry.
And some
That's my
people really
intention.
don't understand that. So do you find people in your circle who are supportive of you, where they get it, they understand, and some people just like,
I have a few people who are very supportive, but there are some that, and you know, I don't think it's intentional.
okay.
But they just don't understand. And that's not even saying they're taking the time to understand.
Right.
But when I say I'm tired, I'm really tired, and it's not, or what they really don't understand is my tired is not the same as your tired.
That's what I was about to say. It's a difference between being tired and being fatigued.
Right. So when I say I'm tired, I'm really tired, and a lot of times I can't do things because I'm either tired or I'm in pain. And though I may not look like it,
We never do.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, to have I'm doing well today is a good day, because I can just be having a conversation and I'll be out of breath. To walk from I live on a street that's a hill, so to walk from my car to my front door, once I get in the house, sometimes I just have to sit down, because it's like I have just used up all of my energy, and all I did was walk from the car to the house. Like, how am I gonna get upstairs? So when I get upstairs, I'm not coming back downstairs.
Like,
And people don't get that. They're like, oh, why are you always tired? I mean, I'm tired too. No.
Right. I get that a lot from people. You know, like, oh, my hip hurts too. My knee hurts too. I'm like, it's to the point now where I just say I'm okay. Do you find yourself just saying you're okay?
I say that a lot, because
Even when you're not.
all the time when I'm not, because it's like, how do you explain to somebody that, yes, my alarm went off at 6:30 this morning, but I really couldn't get out of my bed until 7 o'clock because I couldn't move anything, but I have to be to work in 30 minutes. People don't get that. Oh, you're just being lazy. No, I'm really not being lazy. If I could, I would, but I honestly can't.
Right.
So yeah, when people, it got to a point where I felt like whenever people asked how I was doing, I would say, I'm still not feeling well. So then I got the response, you always sick. You still sick? What's wrong with you? You don't look sick. So in my mind, you know what? I'm just going to stop saying it, because
I did too.
If I keep saying it, it's not changing the way they feel about it. And it's definitely not changing the way I feel, because now I feel like I'm a burden, because every time you ask me, I have to tell you that I'm not feeling well. So now it's just like, oh, I'm doing okay. I'm all right. I'm here.
It's almost like, do you really want to know how I'm doing, or are you just asking?
Right.
Because when I really tell you how I'm doing, you judge me.
Exactly. So, like, the beginning of March, I was really, really, really sick at the beginning of March. I had, like, a crazy flare. But I also had a trip planned. I went on the trip. I came back, and my doctor was like, you need to, like, I was in remission. So the doctor was like, you have to start taking medicine again. I was like, I do not want to take that medicine. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't like the Pillsbury dull girl face. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, here are your choices. You can either take the medicine and feel a little bit better, or I could put you on another medicine, and I don't know how you're going to react to it, because we know that you're special, or you can end up in the ICU on a heart and lung machine. I was like, a heart and what?
Right.
And she's like, yeah, in a couple of weeks, you can end up in a heart and lung machine. So I'm like, okay, I will take the medicine. So I guess overall, I'm blessed because most people who have C.O.P or BOOP, whichever diagnosis they got, they're on oxygen. I'm not on oxygen.
Wow.
I'm not on a heart lung machine. So I'm, for all intents and purposes, I'm doing well right now. Even though, you know, I have my good days and my bad days, I'm doing well because it could be worse. I could be pulling the oxygen tank.
I just had that visual when you said it. I mean, I see a lot of people with oxygen tanks, and it never crossed my mind that that could be one of the reasons.
Right. So when I tell people I'm fighting for my life every day, and they're like, yeah. No, really.
Wow. So literally every breath you take is a blessing.
Yes.
Wow.
So in most people who get it, so again, I say I'm special because most people who get it, once they get the steroids on board, it goes away. And very rarely does it come back. For me, it never went away. Like I was in remission, but it was just laying dormant, just waiting for an opportunity to come out. And I notice it more when the seasons change.
That's what I was about to ask you about the weather.
Especially during the summer, because in the summer I have, you know, depending on where you are, it's either dry heat or it's just hot as I don't know what. So I find myself taking a lot of deep breaths just to get through. And then also in the summer I play sports. So I try to maintain as normal life as possible.
Right.
So I want to keep playing my sports, but just to be out there is a chore. It's a chore.
So you try to keep up with a normal life regardless of what's going on health-wise, and that's something that should be commended because you don't want whatever illness you have to take your normalcy away. So you try to keep that going.
Not my illness.
Well, it's not yours. It's not. It's something that's been that's just came about basically. Right. I also want to touch briefly on the fact that you do work with kids and just having that day-to-day routine that can be so stressful. Real quick, can you touch on what that's like? You know, that you go to work like 8 o'clock in the morning and you work a full day, and that level of stress and fatigue that you have to deal with. How does that impact your day?
Okay, so the kids, I love the kids. I really do. But unfortunately, but fortunately, I work with them from, my youngest is 3, just turned 3.
Okay.
So I work with them from 3 on up.
Okay.
And the best thing about children is they can read you, and they read you well. So a lot of times, if I'm working with a group of kids and they come in and they can just look at me, oh, this is not a good day for Miss Ali, so we're gonna chill out today. Or they'll want to know, are you okay?
Right.
So that's a good thing. But then the fact that I'm working with them so young, I have to be active. I have to be on the floor.
Right.
And so, you know, you already have a compromised immune system and you want me on a dirty floor, and then they have whatever germs they have. It's like, okay. I have some children that come in from outside to be serviced, and it's like telling the parents, I know your child, you want your child to have services. However, if you wake up in the morning and there's something green coming out their nose, please do not bring them.
And as a speech pathologist, you basically
and I'm in their face.
Right, that's what I'm about to say, because you're so close to them working on their speech that, ooh.
I'm in their faces, and the parents, you know, some of them are like, oh, okay, I get it. But others are just, you know, I need my kid to get their services. But I'm like, you know, I'm going to have to wear a mask because your child is detrimental to my health at this point.
Right.
Like, you would think that would be common sense if your child is sick and don't bring them.
Common sense ain't common. No, it ain't common.
So that going back and forth and being on the floor with them and, you know, having to walk up. Now, when I'm in a building, I'm in multiple schools, so when I'm in a building that has steps, that is like, whoa, because I have to walk up the steps, go back and get the children. But then, you know, I just recently started working with the adults. So it's kind of gives me a balance.
More flexibility.
Yeah, because with them I'm sitting down, but then flip side of that, I can't remember anything, and I'm working with them on their memory. So
wow. Well, that's actually helping you to bring it all together. Wow. Well, I'm so glad that you took the time out to come and talk to me today and educate everybody else about C.O.P, because I learned some great stuff today. As we sign off, I just got chills when she said every breath is a blessing. If you don't learn anything else, if you don't take anything else away from today's episode, let that marinate in your spirit. Every breath is a blessing. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned. We have other episodes coming up. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, share this video, and come back next week. Mwah.